with me now Chris Wyatt, who is Chief Strategy Officer and founder of Finexio. So over to you, Chris. Can you tell us a bit about Finexio and your role?
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's been a great show so far. But so co-founder and Chief Strategy Officer at Finexio, and really what that means is I've had most jobs at Finexio. We were a startup 10 years ago and have grown into, so being able to process multiple billions of dollars each month. And what that means is Finexio is really focused on that last mile of the procurement state, life cycle, if you will. So everything that happens upstream from AP automation, workflows, et cetera, where we really focus is how do you actually make sure vendors, suppliers are getting paid effectively, efficiently, on time, and ideally if you're able to monetize payments, fantastic. So that's really where we fit into the entire life cycle. We've been super excited to be here. And again, we do this mostly domestically in the US, but it's fantastic to see all the international representation today at the conference.
Yeah, thank you. And the panel that you've just been on, what were the kind of key discussion points?
Yeah, a lot of it revolved around technology. So a lot of technology, sort of vendors, that are here presenting, and it's a big theme. I think we've all heard about, AI, ChatGPT, agentic AI, and sort of what that's doing. If it's anything from, autonomous commerce, procurement, et cetera. A lot of the, topics really revolved around how do you deal with, the change that's coming, right? It really feels like it's more of an inflection point than in prior years. Again, primarily driven by these large language models and AI really having a very huge impact on how supply chains function, finance, and operate. And really, we think we're just at the tip of the iceberg. So a lot of the conversations were, how do you get ready for a lot of that, and then what does it actually mean for your organization?
Yeah, feels like change is coming, doesn't it?
It is on its way, whether you like it or not. And that was one of the themes. It's like you can bury your head in the sand if you want to, but like it or not, we think it's well on its way.
Yeah, precisely. So we've brought together executives from 3 different areas. It's an unusual event in that respect, I think. Procurement, supply chain, and sustainability. What do you think are the benefits of getting all of those people under one roof?
Yeah, well, obviously they're all very interrelated. Whether you deal with each of those separately, individually, or all together. But I think it's interesting to get the various perspectives because oftentimes each of those different units, departments have different mandates in terms of what they're trying to achieve, what their goals are, et cetera. But ultimately there's sort of a shared vision ultimately for what the companies are trying to achieve. And so I think getting the various perspectives has been super interesting, super helpful. For us, we focus a lot on sort of the procurement side of the house, actually facilitating payments. We've had some great conversations with folks that are just sustainability. How do you make sure you're dealing with suppliers that are reputable or carbon neutral, et cetera? And so just I think having the sort of the cross-pollination of sort of ideas, concepts, business practices, can only help make everything stronger.
Yeah, cool. And finally, while it's early in the 2-day event, do you have any takeaways yet from it?
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of openness to the technology and change. I think in prior years we've seen a lot of sort of inertia trying to prevent change, and just like, we don't really want to do too much that's different. We're busy doing some type of ERP, integration or swap out. I've seen a lot more openness so far towards technology and where things are heading. I think a lot of people are like, writings on the wall. Things are just headed this way. So, how do we start to think about this? So a lot of great conversations that are more forward-looking versus just how do I maybe do things just a little bit better than we did last year. So that's been great to see. I expect we'll see more of that, throughout the conference.